Hello and welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack, flying today with the Maltese Falcon. Woo. And we're going to shoot out these two bad boys. Craftsynth. Take two. Craftsynth 2.0 from Modal Electronics here in the UK against this Waldorf Rocket synthesizer. Two small boxes, both involved in synthesis, quite different, and we're going to talk about those differences and hear what they sound like. You dig? Oscillators. First port of call for any good bit of synthesis action. Craftsynth 2.0 has 8 of them. The Rocket has 8 of them too. Look at them in slightly different ways. This one is all about the wavetable. So it comes with over 40 wavetables. Nice, and also a big differentiating factor, this lovely bit of software from Modal and the guys in England that have built this synth. Works on iOS, Android, everything you got under the sun, and it's a nice way to visualize what's going on here. So we've got an initial patch, and I can sweep through the wavetable. You can hear that going from a saw into a square and whatnot. And what's lovely is you've got all these banks. I don't have to use that. I can hold down preset and turn this bad boy. Polygon wave. Some really complex timbres coming out of that. We're going to hear the Rocket core oscillators right about now. Okay, oscillators of the Rocket. Let's have a listen to it. I think I've got it into a pretty initialized state. We've got the filter wide open, and you've got these really big, chunky switches that I do like. I think it does have a feeling of premium, just a bit more substantial, that's all. So let's have a listen to it. That's on the saw wave, and then what you've got here, this knob, a bit like the way the Modal does it with scaling through all these options in a really nice way on the units. Obviously, Modal you can get in the software and really tinker, but you can sweep through and hear the move through the wave. Now, you've got, with it, connected these unison option, which is the 8 oscillators, and you can hear those come in. And as I sweep the other one, we've got a rainbow of variation. Start at the bottom. Pretty cool, and at its extremity down here, I'm pretty sure it spreads those 8 voices into paraphonic voices that I can play. I love it, really grimy, Boards of Canada-y type sound with a bit of filter. I reckon that might sound nice. Like a paraphonic, polyphonic. I'm learning to just enjoy having independent notes to throw in there. It's so fun to be able to play some chords on there. I really dig it. We've got glide as well. Really rich upfront sound. Let's get back to a simple wave. Actually, I'll switch it to the square wave so you can hear what happens when it morphs through there. Hear that pulse width. It's good fun. That's just in the oscillator section. Onwards from oscillator land into filter land. We've got two big differences between the two of these bad boys. Analog goodness in here, digital in here. Don't be scared of it, still sounds cool. This is two-pole filter, multi-mode. In the Craftsynth that we got plugged in here, it's a digital filter, but it does some interesting things. So if I've got an init patch again with a simple waveform, I'm going to sweep this filter and we'll hear what it sounds like. Visually represented on the screen there. We can add resonance to that, so we'll go about half-mast resonance. And it does a bit more. It's got this morph feature. So anything on the synth that's got blue on it, you can hold down shift and it'll do that. So if I hit morph, you can see it changing through. So that's how you've got continually variable multi-mode filter action going on there. Let's have a listen to the Rocket. Let's hear this analog bad boy filter that we got in the Rocket. We've got a simple waveform. And we're going to swip this filter down. We're in the low pass filter at the moment. Half mass resonance. Full resonance. Really characterful. I understand. I'm starting to get why people dig Waldorf so much. We can change that into a band pass and a high pass. We can also have that control. We've got envelope mod here. We can modulate that with its LFO and arpeggiator it's got in there. Let's just listen to the LFO, see what that does. Oh, and it's responding to the aftertouch. I dig that. Interesting to note as well, a lot of the patches on the Craftsynth respond very well to aftertouch, especially the arpeggiated ones. Anyway, good question, Maltese Falk. Let's move on into the filters. On from Filterland, into the broad differences between the two. Just look at them. Super dinky, like 15 centimeters. This is a little bit bigger. This can be run off batteries. Also, the value of having some form of input on the device itself. This, remember, you're going to need to have a MIDI controller in it to play it. Also, the audio in of this, I think it's going to be a really big feature, especially if you're a DJ or maybe you've got some groove boxes that you want to get some analog goodness into your life. The form factor with the switches, this is much more legit and old school. This is forward thinking, and I'd like to show a little bit of feature in here. You heard that when I played that. Really big difference past the filters and the envelopes and the LFOs I think a big thing is here, we've got some effects on there. And also it shows you how they've thought about the device. Not a lot to play with on here past a certain point, but I think the Craftsynth 2, for guys who are fiddlers or sound designers, you're going to get a lot more mileage out of this, I suspect. So if I play this arpeggio, listen to what happens when I sweep through the time on the delay here. Thanks for staying with me. Got there in the end. What I wanted to show is that when you're turning the knobs on the Craftsynth 2, it's quite intuitive as you're moving right. One way it's going to be moving at the first part of the potentiometer, it's going to be moving through in fine values, and then it ramps up into subdivided movement through whatever you're controlling. Same with LFO rates. The LFO rates, they go up to audio rates here. And what was interesting when I found out from Jackson from Modal was that they thought about that. It's a very knob-friendly twisting device here. Whereas I think if you've already got a grasp in synthesis, you want an analog filter and maybe a few core punchy, classic Waldorf waveforms, then maybe the Rocket's the one to go for. And this is juicy because it's got that analog filter. You can run stuff through it. So the Maltese Falcon and I were cooking up some beats earlier on, and I'm going to hit play on this. One little tip, if you've got it, I had to Google it a bit because there's no oscillator volume on here per se. If you flick it to the pulse width, out of the two, you've got square and saw and square or pulse width. All the way to the left, everything down on there, then hit launch. It'll kind of open up the gate so we can put some audio into it. So let's hear what we were cooking up and sweep that filter. And you can see with that launch, it's got a trigger button here, which is great. I know this has got a mini keyboard, but if you're using it, I can totally see you buying that just to sweep. I'm always using the nitro filter in here, but it's quite noisy and it's digital. So the analog one in this would be well worth it alone for the price of a Michione. Also, we've got the only other way you can kind of juice kind of special thing, it's got a boost section here. So maybe again, if I play this, let's see if it boosts that. Yeah. No boost. Boost. Woo, a juicy little box. I dig it. Check it out on the website. They're pretty similarly priced, and I'm going to play you out with a few sounds from the two of them. Hopefully that was just a light introduction between, you've got a choice at this end of the market now with the Craftsynth 2.0 out there, and hopefully it guides you into making the right decision. If not, let me know. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. If you don't, let us know. Me and the Falcon are listening, and we're trying, I promise, all right? See ya!